the 16th of June 2021. Probably a week after I've done my initial stories, maybe a bit less. Initial stories of my wife. As I said, need to explain this sexual addiction, and it's not an easy thing to explain. It's complicated. Like I am having a lot of therapy and understanding myself more, but when there's a lot of buried trauma, that I couldn't tell anyone about, developed attachment issues as a child that made me compelled to not trust others, and afraid of letting people in, being myself, showing people the real me, and expressing my feelings. Starting to explore those feelings, and extremely painful. I said, no, I'm no longer lost in this addiction. I'm just overwhelmed by everything that was buried underneath, that I was compartmentalized, and did my best to manage on my own. That's led to a whole host of choices and behaviours that subconsciously that I was making, and that left me just in complete mental destruction, just severe depression. I've had that many times in my life, but at this point it's the worst it's ever been. I just cannot see any positive. I can't see how anyone could love me or be around me or want to be friends with me. Even if they do, I just want to shut myself off, run and hide, isolate myself like I always have done. Try to protect myself, except it's just making me worse and worse. Don't know how to face any of this stuff, or I'm sure I would have done so a long time ago. The brain's an amazing thing, but also it's broken. It's scary how easy it is to just get things so messed up. Like the obvious choices become obvious right choices to make become difficult, and wrong ones just seem like the only choice. Never felt so alone, so broken. these abandonment, rejection issues I have just become so dominant, just so afraid of everything now in life that I just feel like there's no point in going on. You've given up on life and dreams, and anybody could find you worthwhile to be around, be with, and yeah, it's just makes life feel like it's completely disconnected and there's no point in existing. It's made worse by having felt for a long time so connected to everything and everyone, and then knowing this thing was destroying me from the inside out was everything I wanted and loved just was too much for myself to sort of accept or acknowledge. It's too shameful, too painful, and it just made the behaviour worse, escalated it. It was just got worse and worse, and I just didn't know how to stop, didn't know how to of course you can if you're in so much denial, and of course it meant facing everything else, and that was just too painful. Still is, even though I've got no choice now. It's that or death, and neither option look great. Constantly sort of thrown between one and the other just because the pain's so constant. I just want to make it stop, which is just seems impossible. The way my brain's found to deal with that has always been self-destructive, and I can't even comprehend a non-destructive way that actually stops it, and just feels like anything that I found that would do that would probably just become another addiction. Sure, they'll probably be healthier than what's happened, but still not fix the problem and still not give me any quality of life that I feel's worth living for. Just feel worthless, pointless, empty. I'm not in agony. I'm just shame and pain and paranoia and afraid of my own shadow. Panic attacks that I just don't know how to handle, and sometimes able to cope with that in the day with breathing exercises, but you're getting sometimes a dozen panic attacks in your sleep. Constantly waking up in a cold sweat and screaming or just absolutely terrified. Don't get any quality of sleep, which just makes things worse. And it feels like everything psychologically could be making me deteriorate is doing so. It's a constant battle just to even find a moment of sanity, clarity, and rational thought. And when I do, I'm just flat, numb, like just everything feels unreal. I'm just caught in a nightmare of going round in circles, and I'm tired of the flashbacks of receiving previous trauma in other people when I see them, or when they say certain things, and that feeling that comes with that was always so intense and just exhausting. I'm just mentally, physically, emotionally exhausted, and I feel like I have no control over anything. I feel like no matter what I do, I'm never going to be able to control all of these things. Like, and they're just gonna. It's like when if one doesn't get me, the other will. And so the good in me just seems dead. You don't have any positive thoughts about yourself, feelings towards yourself. You just don't want to live anymore. It's at this point, I'm not living. I'm just existing. I'm just trapped in a life I never wanted. All my dreams dead, so I don't feel like I've got anything to aim for. No confidence if I could aim for anything, it would ever achieve it, because with my life, but it's just, well, I just keep falling so far short, blowing everything up, and people just abandon me and leave me, so expect me to just get on with it when I've never been able to do that. No one ever seems to really understand how much I carry with me all the time, and why, and I don't really understand why I can't let any of it go, process it or deal with it. 40 years old, I spent 30 years trying for most of it, so how can I have any confidence that's going to change? I mean, I'm doing things I haven't done in the past, but the therapy and hopefully starting support groups soon. I've been avoiding that because it scares the hell out of me. It's like everything else. At this point, like, what I've got to lose, I'm already suicidal and depressed and giving up on life. It's like I don't enjoy anything, so it just feels like that's an impossible thing to achieve. Like, anything is possible to achieve at this point. I don't expect anyone I've hurt to forgive me. I don't expect anyone I've loved to ever love me back again. Like I said, I'm blessed to have a family that tries to look past things, but try to help me, but they're all so far away, and I just don't feel connected to them in any way. And when the depression comes, it's in its worst. I just shut down and get lost in my own thoughts and don't talk to anyone. It's just connecting with anyone is exhausting. It's like when you don't feel anything positive, feeling nothing's a relief, but compared to all the negative, but when that's the only feelings you have, just constant negative feelings and constant negative thoughts, it's that you can't control. You try and control, you try and tell yourself something positive, it all just feels like a lie. It's so crushing, so it's beyond hell. It's just the absence of connection, it's isolation. I just don't know what to do most of the time. I just feel like I'm flailing along in no meaningful direction, directionless, rudderless, just going through the motions. And just even, it's like everybody I'd ever known just feels like a stranger now. I feel like a stranger to myself. I can't trust myself. How can I trust anyone else? It's even if I could ever get to a point of trusting myself, I don't feel I'll ever be able to trust anyone else again. Not with me or myself, my thoughts, my feelings. My happiness, right? I just feel, well, it's just kind of, your life just seems over, lost. Something that's happening around me, outside of me. While I'm trapped in a prison of my own making I couldn't see coming. I don't see any way out of.